Hey everybody, it's Rob. I'm back. We're doing another Proving Grounds practice walkthrough. This time we're doing a machine called Filebrowser. It is a Linux machine rated as intermediate. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought this one was easy. I just don't get these ratings sometimes. But anyway, without further ado, you can see I am on Offsec's VPN, and I do have the Filebrowser machine spun up. So the first thing that we did was we ran an mmap scan. Service version detection T4, all ports aggressive. 22 came back and 8080, and that is pretty much it from what I remember. 8080 looks like it's running some kind of HTTP server. Maybe this is typically a proxy port, so there could be something going on there. But to be honest, it looks like it's some kind of file browser based on what we can see here. So with these options, really the only thing we can do is we can go to the website. Just remember to tack that colon 8080 onto the back of it. And you get this file browser software. So, I didn't really know anything about this software. So I literally just, the first thing I tried was to type admin, and it let me in. Again, this is one of those things where I say, these ratings for some of these machines are kind of questionable. Now, here's the deal. This looks like some kind of web-based file system browser. And as you can see, there's a lot of good stuff right here that we got dumped into immediately. So for example, if we open the local, I think you just double click on it. There's the user flag already. So without much fuss whatsoever, we already have the user flag. Okay, so now if we go back, I looked at the rest of this stuff. There was some interesting stuff in there I tried to mess around with. But really, my eyes zeroed in on this SSH folder. So if you go into the SSH folder, there is a set of keys in there. There's the public key and the private key. So let's take a look at the private key. It looks like a standard private key. What we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to download this file. So I believe you just highlight it and then you click the download button. So now I have that IDRSA key stored. Now, if we look at the public key, there's some pretty valuable information in here. Obviously, this key belongs to David at Filebrowser. That's all it is, David at Filebrowser. So we have a username, and I think for us to be able to log in using this key, we need to add Filebrowser to the etc host file. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. Sudo nano etc hosts. And then we're going to come down to the bottom. I'm going to put the IP address in, which is 192.168.141.176, tab, and I'm just going to put file browser. Then I'm going to Control O, Control X. Okay, so that's done. Well, let's just test it. Ping file browser. Okay, we're getting a response. So that worked. So the way logging in with a certificate works is there has to be a specific folder, or not a specific folder, but a specific file in the SSH directory called authorized_keys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to X out of this. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to download this public key as well. And now we're going to go to the location where those files have been downloaded, which I believe is here. So we're going to open the folder. Yes. And I have the IDRSA keys, the private and the public. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a document, empty file, and I'm going to call it authorized_keys. And I'm going to create that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this key from this file right here. This is the public key. Copy. And I'm going to go into the authorized key. And actually, I'm going to do this in Nano because I noticed it works better. So I'm going to just close this, open a terminal here, and I'm going to go nano authorized keys. And then I'm just going to drop the key in there. It should all fit on one line. It'll just keep going. As you can see, the last of it is David at Filebrowser. So we're going to hit Control O, Control X. So we're going to exit out of here. Now, let's just take a look at it again just to make sure everything looks good, and it does. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go back to the file browser, and I'm going to upload a file, go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to upload authorized keys. I'm going to click open. So now that authorized keys file is there, okay? So now we go back to our folder. We're going to open a terminal here, and if we do an ls-ail, you can see this IDRSA is read writable. You need to change that, otherwise you're going to get this key is not secure error. So the way you do that is chmod, and we're going to just call use 400, which is making it read only for IDRSA. All right, now let's just cat that IDRSA. Looks good. We'll see here. So I'm going to clear the screen. And if you remember, the gentleman's name was David at Filebrowser, right? So what we're going to try to do right now and see if it works is we're going to SSH, and we're going to go David at Filebrowser, and we're basically going to use that identity file that we just made read only, the IDRSA, which is the private key, right? Now, hopefully, it'll probably ask us to accept the certificate or whatever, and then it should just log us in. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. And it does. It didn't even ask us. So we are now on the machine with a shell. So we're going to type history, nothing, sudo tacl, and it's asking for David's password, which we don't have, so we'll just let this fail 3 times. And what's step 3 in our process? Our step 3 is to look for files with the SUID set. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to copy, paste. So basically, this command, we're looking for all files starting at the root of the directory of type file with the permission of 4000, which is with the SUID set. And then we're sending anything that isn't relevant to this search to dev null, so it doesn't take up all the real estate on the screen. So we're going to hit enter. And right off the bat, I can see a problem, right? This is normal, 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 normal. Even these are normal. This is not normal, okay? Let's go to our favorite website, GTFO bins, and let's see what they have for aa-exec. And they do have something here for SUID. And honestly, the only part of this you need to worry about is this right here. If we copy that and we paste clipboard, we now have a root shell. So we can do cd root. Whoop. Let's do this because this could be a bit of a wonky shell. Let's do this. We'll do cat root proof.txt. Now we could always try and get a better shell. That's not a big deal, but for the sake of brevity and to keep this video short, because I thought this machine was pretty easy, we're going to just do it this way. There's the root flag. I'll make sure I blur this out. So again, you know, I don't know who does the initial ratings for these things. The community rating on this is easy. The Offsec rating is intermediate. So I've done machines that were 10 times harder than this, and they were rated as easy. So it is what it is. I take the wins when I can get them. I thought this machine was a piece of cake. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Hopefully you learned something. I'm going to have all the links in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticism, drop them below and I'll be happy to engage with you. But that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.